Good morning, Leeds United fans. So I'm going to attempt to unpick the whole situation surrounding the football club at the moment. I'm going to deal with just facts. I'm going to try and steer away from any rumours, gossip that hasn't come from legitimate sources other than someone's brother's sister's uncle on Twitter. And I'm going to try and unpick all the current ingoings, outgoings, and yeah, let's get into it. So apologies if it's a little bit of a long video, but it's going to take a while. So, first up, Daniel Farke came in as our new manager, and he did say very publicly it is going to be a tough start. It is going to be difficult. It is going to take time. I think a lot of us were like, yeah, that's fine, but we'll be all right. When really, we should have listened to him then, because he did explain, especially after that Man United away game in Oslo, he did say after that the loan situation was an absolute mess. That wasn't his direct quote, obviously, but I think that's what we could take from it, that he wasn't happy with it, and he said it'll never happen again. And let's hope it never does happen again. Firstly, I'm going to explain my take on the loan situation and what I've read into it. Obviously, financial fair play comes into it. The reason a lot of these players have loan clauses in their contracts is because they came to us as a Premier League club. They wanted to play Premier League football. So if we got relegated, they wanted a way that they could get out, basically. A lot of these players were using Leeds as a stepping stone to try and get a bigger move. That's how Victor Orta and Kinnear were selling the idea of Leeds United to players. Come to us, have a little bit of a play around, shop window, off you pop. That seems to be how they were promoting the idea of Leeds United to these players. Hence why a lot of these players don't have any connection to the club. And that's what's come back to bite us this year. So yeah, they had these loan clauses in, and it was that or a wage reduction. So if they were going to have a wage reduction in there, they also wanted a loan clause in there or some way that they could get out, basically. And as a club, we agreed to it. The one that's really stuck with us all, though, is the Jack Harrison one, because he only signed a contract renewal in April whilst we were in the relegation zone. So that one baffles me. All the others, I kind of see it that the club never thought that we were going to get relegated, so they just whacked it in there, didn't think it would come back to hurt us. The Harrison one was stupidity. And personally, I hold Kinnear to blame. Yes, Victor Orta, 100%. Down to him as well, but Kinnear has overseen so much stuff and so much negativity around the club that he's just not fit for purpose, in my opinion. So yeah, the loan situation is frustrating. Compare us to Leicester, who've sold, 3-4 players combining to over 70 million. Southampton, who are going to total over 100 million incoming. Leeds have brought in 3 million, and that was undervalued for a player like Rodrigo. So I get why we aren't selling these players. For example, Aronson. If we sold him, we would get nowhere near what we paid for him, and that goes against us in terms of financial fair play. And financial fair play is what is blocking us currently from being able to buy more players. But we are losing rapidly sellable assets. So someone like Jack Harrison was a sellable asset, because Jack Harrison, we almost sold for 20 million back in January, but he's gone out on loan. And a lot of these players, even though we wouldn't have got value from someone like Voba, again, we didn't really want to lose Voba, but the fact that we have, we'd have took money for, because we can then spend that money. But the situation we're in now is, until we sell a player and bring money in, we can't buy a player because of financial fair play. So that really leaves us in a bit of a sticky situation. That's why, for me, the Tyler Adams to Bournemouth links that are coming up, I think if he's going to go, let's just get him out of here, because I like Tyler Adams, don't get me wrong, but we can't do anything, and players hanging around like that is putting the brakes on our transfer window. So we need Tyler Adams to go, get that 20 million in, we can bring in 2-3 players, and that's the situation we're in. It's not a good situation, but that is the situation Leeds have found themselves in. So let's talk about the players we have brought in. We were told that we were going to have an aggressive transfer window. I get that aggressive is open to interpretation, and rather than aggressive, they maybe should have called it like an expansive, a creative, unique transfer window. I don't know. There's loads of other words they could have used, but it's not aggressive for me. Not when we've got so many players out and only 4 players in. I know we had the Max Aarons one hijack last week, but we've got Ampadu, great signing, happy with him. Darlow, another good signing. Byram, that was a great bit of business. And Roden on loan. So all 4 of them I think are good. But the problem is it's half the amount that we need. The other thing that confuses me is Meslier is probably now our only sellable asset, because Sinistera seems to have a loan clause as well. Tyler Adams, obviously, we sell him, and then there's the whole Nonto situation. I'll get into that later, but that only leaves Meslier as another sellable asset. But we brought in Darlow, but we're still playing Meslier, so that just leaves a little bit of confusion. Going out on loan, we've got Rocker, Aronson, Koch, who won't be coming back because it's the last year of his deal, which is madness as well. Llorente, Rasmus, Voba, and now Jack Harrison. We are only allowed 7 international loan deals, but we can have more domestic ones. So we've got 6 gone out internationally. We think Sinistera could go back to Feyenoord and be the 7th. Harrison is a domestic loan. So that's not good. It's really not good. That's most of our starting lineup. However, these are the players that took us down. We've got to remember that, but they would have still been good in the Championship. These aren't players that love Leeds United, that love our club, with the exception of maybe Harrison. And then we've got some players going out, where Forshaw, contract ran out, off he went. Robles, off he went. Rodrigo, we got 3 million for, which is pennies, but that was in the contract. And Tyler Roberts, which I think we got 500,000 for, which even then, I think we had their eyes out. So, yeah, not great. Charlie Cresswell penned a new contract, which is good. And then that leaves us with Nonto. So with Nonto, he does not have anything in his contract that means he can just leave Leeds United. Like, that's it. There's nothing in there, so he is trying to force his way out. He's 19 years old, and he has an agent that could be terribly advising him, saying his priority is to get picked for Italy. He needs to be playing top-flight football, so you should not be starting these games. For me, it's a difficult situation. I made really bad mistakes when I was 19 years old, so if he does make a U-turn from it, then I will be there I would forgive him if he came out and said, look, I was badly advised, I'm going to play for the shirt, I'm going to stay till January or next summer, whatever. But the club need to hold their grip on these players, especially Nonto, who's trying to force this move. Like, we're not selling him for 10, 15 million. We want to get full market value. Look at what Lavia has just gone for. We need to really do some good financial business and hold on to that. And then we'll get to some injuries. So we know the situation is we were only able to field 19 players the other day and 3 were goalkeepers. Our bench is looking extremely, extremely light. We have Dallas, who is out injured and has been for a while, who we don't actually have an update on. We've got Firpo, who is out for another 4 or 5 weeks, so he's not going anywhere. He's not sellable. Cooper, who is out for 8 weeks. 1 week's gone to 7 more weeks with a plantar injury as well. Bamford out for God knows how long, tail end of September. Joseph should be back by September. Rutter's just come back. And then Somerville, who again, he's going to be out for the rest of August. It just leaves us down to bare bones. And then we've still got little, Drame might not be fully fit yet. Sam Greenwood's got little niggles in there. So yeah, it is a tough one. But what I am saying, and this is where I put a positive spin on it for you guys, is I believed it was always going to get worse before it gets better. And yes, it has been horrible that it's took this long into the transfer window for things to start moving, but the transfer window does go right up to September. There will be some more shocks, there will be some players in, players out, but at least when we get to September, we will know who the Leeds United squad are that is playing for us in the Championship. At the moment, we've just got to ride out the next few games, get to September. Daniel Farker is the right man for the job. He came in knowing this was going to be tough. This is no shock to him, so he was prepared for it. He's disappointed and frustrated, but he is prepared. And then we need to trust that with whatever squad we have left, he can do something with it. Because there are some good players in there. We have brought in Darlow to back up Meslier, so that means the goalkeeper situation is looking good. We've brought Byram in, who is solid. We've brought Ampadu in, who's looking really, really good. We've got Archie Gray having a breakthrough season, hopefully. We've got Cresswell, who looks like he's set for big things. So we need to, Paveda, who's looking like a complete different player. We need to kind of remember that and just think those players, surrounded by a few new players like Rodon coming in, it could be all right. Hear me out. Like, if you've got this far, I appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts. And yeah, thank you for watching. It's been a long one. Longest video I've ever done on TikTok, I think, but it needed it.